Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. Summary. The condensed history of Homo sapiens is told in Sapiens, which examines the evolution of our species through historical and anthropological perspectives. Homo sapiens was still a little animal living in a remote area of Africa 70,000 years ago. It evolved over the ensuing millennia into the planet's ruler and the ecosystem's greatest threat. Why is our world the way it is today? Who are we, and where did we come from? Sapiens provides comprehensive answers to all of our questions about our own species, from its origins in East Africa to the modern, worldwide society. Yuval Noah Harari is a public intellectual, philosopher, and professor of history at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow and 21 Lessons for the 21st Century are some of Harari's other books. Sapiens outlines the complicated path that has led us to this point in history, explaining everything from how speech enabled us to dominate other Homo species to why capitalism is the dominant worldwide social structure. Three key revolutions are cognitive, agricultural, and scientific shaped humanity. In Eastern Africa, a new species of the ape genus Homo emerged some 300,000 years ago. They coexisted in silence with dozens of other human ape species for nearly 230,000 years. However, Homo sapiens started to speak and left the African continent some 70,000 years ago. This cognitive revolution most certainly contributed significantly to the extinction of all other Homo species by replacing us. Since our emergence from Africa, as we traveled through the Middle East, Asia, and Europe, we have primarily lived as hunter-gatherers in tiny, dispersed bands. However, we started to domesticate some 10,000 years ago, producing wheat and herding animals for food. With more reliable resources thanks to the agricultural revolution, we could feed more people. Agriculture, however, also enslaved us to a system that was much less adaptable than a foraging way of life and led to unheard of social stratification. Around the year 1500, the scientific revolution began, and human knowledge and power skyrocketed. The development of modern empires coincided with the production of knowledge and the exploitation of people in distant regions. Capitalism and its marriage of science and empire established the groundwork for our modern world. Even with all of our modern technology, the few plants that our ancestors tamed between 9500 and 3500 BC provide more than 90% of the calories that sustain humans. Money, religion, and empire are the three defining factors that shape our global culture. The three unifying powers of money, religion, and empire established our contemporary interconnected society after the three evolutionary revolutions that produced modern Homo sapiens. Bartering goods were used to conduct early trade, but the process of unification started thousands of years ago with the invention of currency. It produced things with uniform values that could be widely traded across disparate communities. Despite all the bloodshed, carnage, and war that religion brings about, it has historically been one of the most common threads connecting people. The early faiths were tribal-specific until about 3,000 years ago when universal religions started to emerge. Since that time, these religions have united a great number of different nations and races under common rules and deities. The majority of people have lived in empires since about 200 BC. Most people will probably continue to live in one in the future. The third overarching factor that has impacted practically everything about our contemporary experience is the establishment of empires. From the Han to the Romans to the British. An empire is a broad political system in which several other civilizations and cultures coexist. The growth of universal faiths and the quest for gold and other valuables served as the driving forces behind imperial endeavors like the European colonization of the Americas. Even while these imperial endeavors were horrific and brutal, they also united a large portion of the globe. There is no turning back now that we have witnessed in real time the emergence of a global empire including around 200 nations on an economic and cultural collision course. We paid a high price for our immense might. There is no reason to believe that the best cultures in history have always been the most prosperous. History ignores the enjoyment of individual organisms, much like evolution. During the Industrial Revolution, humanity was able to capture energy from fossil fuels, which effectively freed us from dependence on the environment. It was our ability to produce things and feed a population that was expanding rapidly without the need for a connection to the natural world that established our domination. We have largely wiped away the planet's ecosystems through exploitation because there is no immediate need for connection. But ever since our earliest travels, humans have also been damaging ecosystems. We eliminated all of the megafaunas on those continents within just a few thousand years of Homo sapiens colonizing Australia and then the Americas. Weighing all of today's humans and tame farm animals would result in a mass that is around 10 times greater than all other large animal species put together. Do not accept the assertions of tree huggers that our forefathers coexisted with nature. Though some scholars believe our behaviors are driving us toward extinction, others believe we have the knowledge and ingenuity to stop it. Humans have repeatedly demonstrated that we are capable of creating more tools and resources. On the other hand, we've built systems that we now have to use rather than having them use us. Is there any evidence that modern Homo sapiens are any happier than our ancient ancestors as a result of this progress? The complexity of our modern environment can be overwhelming, but we might be able to better comprehend where we're going if we can trace the issues we have today to their root causes.